Good morning, traders. Venderman here with FuturestraderElite with your pre-market prep for NQ on 1/5. Monday, start our week out strong here and get in on some prep. Let's go on and jump into the chart. Here we're looking at the 1 hour on NQ. And on Friday last week, right here we had this drop. We had this big drop Friday. This green trend line was a 4-hour trend line. You can see that it swept that trend line but closed on it, and then it opened up and went up over a 100-point move. That right there, if you was trading on a higher time frame, would have been a A+ trade. If you was paying attention to this chart, for that to close above that line, open up above it, would have been entry right there on the line, followed with a tight stop for that push. And it went that way pretty fast. You could have, as soon as it went green, you could have just moved your stop up to break even or right up there on the trend line. Just want to go over that real quick. So what I'm going to be looking forward to today is, you can see we got so much overhead resistance. All this up here. Of course, I got some precision entry zones. Just waiting and ready for it to try to get back up into this area. But for today, what we need to focus on really is we got this 15. This is a 1-hour trend line. This red one up here that crosses through this precision entry zone with this previous all-time high. That'll kind of be the line in the sand probably for me today. I don't if it can even get up there, I would be expecting a rejection unless they open the market today and decide all the bulls show up and they drive this up much further than that. It's a possibility, but I initially would be thinking first reaction in this area up here. This here is a 15-minute trend line. Now, we also have the possibility, you can see that it pierces through the corner of this, but by the time this gets up here, it would have to go through that line, which it could sweep that 15-minute line, tag this precision entry zone, and then drop. Of course, we are above the golden pivot, which is a bullish sign. And we make this a little bigger. We can see here on the 1 hour, we come up and we tagged it. We've been fighting around it right here on this 1 hour chart, back and forth, chopping around. I put this 15-minute line or this 1 hour line on here, which is a little off for some reason. I'll fix that up a little bit. Want to make sure those are on there correctly. But you can see we chopped. We got the buy signal here, which would have been at the candle close. And it looks pretty good. We got this imbalance zone here, this red imbalance zone. It's got a precision entry zone on the inside of that imbalance zone. And we closed above the 50 EMA. So, right now everything looks pretty good to the upside until we find some heavy rejection, which could be inside this precision entry zone, which is, I got to find my local tool, that way I can see. That precision entry zone is from 623 to, this should be 625, not 23, about 625 to 635 is that precision entry zone. That imbalance zone, I believe, is on the 30-minute chart. Might even be the 15. I'd have to see when we go down the lower time frame. But you can see the kill zone on the 1 hour is already on the overbought side by quite a bit. That don't mean it can't hang around in this area for a while and chop around, but we get through this imbalance zone and this precision entry zone. We will be looking at, for me, I'd be looking at this zone up here, and the R1 pivot lands inside this one, and that one's from 700 to 710 or 702 to 712. And I got that, you can see I have this little one above that for a possible sweep of this area. Say you got up here and it shot through that pivot, which is normal for a sweep from 730 up here to 735. Say it got up here, chopped around, or got up here and was close to the pivot and just shot up real fast and sucked right back down. So that's an idea for trade plan up in that area if you didn't want to play first reaction of this, or if you're doing micros, you know, you could possibly, depending on what your risk is, you could try to get in at the pivot and then maybe leave some lag up there if you're willing to dollar cost average in and it tag them up there and then slam back down. It is a possibility, but that don't mean it would happen. And then, of course, if it got through all that, you get up into this area of this trend line, this 15-minute up here. And then again, it could sweep this 15 and tag this precision entry zone, or even this one. This precision entry zone right here. And then this one here is 775 to 785 and 805 to 815. Both of these were on for the last week or so, and when they were back here on Friday when this happened, you can see this green one tagged the bottom side of this one and then sucked down, and then this one opened up and this one tagged this one. So they both worked on Friday, but they barely tagged each one, them candles did, before this huge sell-off. So we're going to keep them there. I just moved them over this morning. And I don't really want to talk much more about upside on this unless we can get through there. Other than, I guess if we got through all this, we got this previous all-time high we need to look at. Let's say we got through all this down here, and then we get up here in this area. There's this previous all-time high yellow line. You got the 1 hour trend line, and in this precision entry zone, all that falls within, say, 850 to 860. So if it's got this drive up pretty good, you know, and we land in this little area right here, a lot of confluence for rejection there. If there's a lot of buying pressure today, though, and they're really driving this up, you would have to tread lightly with some caution with each one of these. Now, say that we got these on here and you mark them up, and say you try to play first reaction once or twice, and it's just not working, and it keeps stopping you out because they just keep driving it up. Ultimately, if that happens once or twice, you're not going to want to keep playing the entries that way. You're going to want to wait and see, because, you know, if a big candle goes through this whole area right here, I'm going to tread lightly playing this line and this sweep, and I'm going to be more focused on this. I'd rather sit through the unknown all in this if they're going to put in any big green candles like this red one over here, and kind of wait for an area that might be closer to the range of a 90 to 100% chance of a rejection, a good rejection. Because if they put in a strong green candle that pierces through all this like this red one did down this way, by the time it gets up into this area, it's going to need to breathe. Probably going to get a pullback there somewhere, you would think. Now, let's look a little bit to the downside. We have, let's say, we're here. I got some precision entry zones marked out down here to the bottom side. This one here's from 460 to 465. We got 420 to 425, 385 to 390, and 365 to 370. And then of course we got this trend line down here. I'd be watching, say they bring this to the downside, depending on the speed that they do that with, they could pierce the golden pivot. They might first reaction bounce it, but depending on what it looks like, they could first reaction bounce only to come down and tag this precision entry zone, which is only about 20 points below that pivot. And you know, that wouldn't be much anything new for them to sweep, do something like this. They could hit it, bounce, and then sweep down into this area and then take back off up into this area. Or they could keep taking it to the downside. We just need to be aware of what all the possibilities are, and be ready to react. That's what this prep is all about, knowing areas where we might see some action to react to. But right now everything is looking pretty good on to the bullish side. We'll just have to wait and see what happens as we get closer to the bell. I'll try to update some things. If things move a whole lot between now and the bell, I'll try to update the chart and put it in the live updates channel in Discord. Everybody, I hope you have a good trading day. Stay sharp, stay green, use that discipline, try to keep the emotions in check, and I will see you guys in the trade recap later today. And if you're in Discord, I'll see you in Discord. I will see you guys later. Have a great day.